Wow. That's the best thing to come out with. I guess if there's one thing that nobody thought they'd be hearing again, it's my voice. I mean, it's been 5 years since I've uploaded anything. My last video I made back in just before lockdown started, the first lockdown. I do have my reasons for as to why I was absent for so long, but I will discuss them in another video. But yeah, I came across this and I thought it was so interesting and at times so infuriating that I thought, make a video on it, revive Lord Flashheart. So here I am. So yesterday was Remembrance Sunday, and on this day it's the time where we celebrate the lives and the service that many men and women have devoted to this country throughout the First and Second World War. We give them in its silence to show our respect for the sacrifices that they made fighting and dying for England, for Britain. But what garnered my interest in wanting to talk about this subject now was a 100-year-old World War II veteran who recently appeared on Good Morning Britain, and comments he made regarding the state of England he was fighting for in the 1940s compared to the England in which we're all supposedly having the luxury of living in today. Let's just say he notices stark differences, and not for the better, despite the contempt that the liberal establishment and the Good Morning Britain presenters had for the comments he came out with. I have actually seen the video itself. I can't play clips of it, but I can talk about it here. I will put a link to it in the description also, should you want to check it out for yourself. World War II veteran says winning the World War wasn't worth it based on the state of the UK. A 100-year-old veteran made his feelings clear about the sacrifices he and his friends made for the country. Good Morning Britain presenters Adil Ray and Kate Garraway, we'll get into them in a sec, were left mortified live on air when a 100-year-old veteran declared winning World War II wasn't worth it due to the present state of the UK. Proudly wearing his medals, Alec Penstone appeared on the show in advance of Remembrance Sunday on November the 9th and told how he quit his factory job to sign up for the Royal Navy and fight for his country as soon as he was old enough. He emotionally recalled how many of his friends had lost their lives and described himself as just a lucky one for making it through. However, the moving segment took a turn when Kate asked him what Remembrance Sunday means to him. He said he felt that winning the war was not worth how the country had turned out today. My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones and all the hundreds of my friends who gave their lives. For what? The country of today? He said sadly. He went on to say, no, I'm sorry, but the sacrifice wasn't worth the result of what it is now. What we fought for was our freedom, but now it's a darn sight worse than when I fought for it. So first of all, I don't believe he has to apologise for anything. He has done nothing wrong whatsoever. This is his point of view, and a lot of people would be inclined to agree with his point of view on the state of England today. He was actually tearing up when he was talking about this. His eyes were watering. He was visibly upset and very emotional as he was talking about modern England as we know it, the England we live in today, unfortunately. A visibly stunned Kate interjected with her apologies as she said, Alec, I'm sorry you feel like that, and I want you to know that all the generations that have come since, including me and my children, are so grateful for your bravery and all the other service personnel. It's our job to now make it the country that you fought for, and we will do, she promised him. I would not hold my breath on that promise. You know damn well she's not going to keep it. And here we've got a picture of it right now, as a screenshot of the segment on Good Morning Britain in which Alec Penstone appeared. You can see him shaking Kate's hand right there, but I can assure you that these presenters do not care for this veteran at all. They just wanted to look good. That's what this was all about. Okay, she doesn't care about his point of view. She doesn't care about the state of England. She's still going to be absolutely fine, no matter how much chaos that we, the working classes, actually have to live through. She's not going to see those hardships. nor does she care. Through the majority of the segment in which Alec Penstone appeared, they were very, very patronising. They were very condescending, you could say, towards him. There was a lot of instances where they were talking over him, completing his sentences for him. A lot of the time they were actually talking to him like a child, like a bloody 3-year-old, and I thought it was disgusting. They were constantly talking to him like, we're going to speak loudly because we know you can't hear. You know, they were saying a lot of things like that. Ultimately just trying to talk to him like a 3-year-old, and I did not agree with that whatsoever. Just because he's very old doesn't mean that he's stupid. But let's move a little bit further into the article. Viewers overwhelmingly agreed with this statement and flocked to X to comment on a clip of the chat posted by the show. One person said, "Well done, Alec, for saying how it is, but as usual they try to cut him off with, oh sorry about that, and talk to him like he's a child." Exactly as I said a moment ago, they were talking to him like a 3-year-old essentially. Another person said, "Truly sad to see this wonderful brave man questioning what he and his fallen comrades had fought for. He has been betrayed by spineless politicians of all colours. Thank you, sir, for what you and your comrades did for us, and sadly I think you are correct." Spot on. I think everyone collectively agrees. They're on this veteran's side. You know, they can see it for what it is. Look at the state of England today. Look at the things that have happened, even over the last few weeks. Yeah, this isn't the England that Alec Penstone and his comrades fought for. A third person observed, "That's a heartbreaking indictment on the country you gave service to, and a no more damning critique." A fourth person said, "He is absolutely correct. We have never lived through what he has, and for those words to come from this hero's heart is a damning testament to what our country has become. God bless him." Yes, God bless him indeed. So I think we can all collectively agree, we are all on the same side here. We're all on this veteran side. We all show our support, and we want to show any dedication we can to the people that did give their lives and fought during the World Wars and the wars after that. Nobody disagrees with this man. You know, all the working classes are on this man's side here. Like I mentioned, the problem, like this veteran did nothing wrong. He said nothing wrong. He spoke the truth. And that is what the Good Morning Britain presenters did not like. They did not like the fact that he came out with the comments saying that the country is a mess right now, the state of England as it is. They couldn't stand that, and I can assure you they weren't expecting him to come out with that either, I don't think. They were just expecting a quick segment where he just talks about his experiences in the war, talks about his friends, talks about the roles he had in the Second World War, the military operations he took part in. I believe he took part in Overlord, I could be wrong there, but again, that's what they were expecting. They weren't expecting him to turn around and start saying this country is a mess right now. This isn't what me and my mates died for. Adil Ray, the male presenter, actually turned around and said to him after he made them comments, when he was talking about his fallen comrades that gave their lives, and then he spoke about England today, compared it to England today, he came out and actually said, "What do you mean by that?" Well, what do you think he was on about? We all know what he's talking about. You compare England back then to the England today, and you can see that there are stark differences. We all know what he was talking about. What this presenter was trying to do was he was trying to bait him into saying something racist. They were trying to bait him into saying something that I wouldn't say he'd later regret, because no matter what he'd have came out with, there would have probably been truth to it. But what that presenter said when he turned around and says, "What do you mean by that?" It was disgusting. It was almost trying to force him to elaborate on something. Then he was hoping for him to come out with the wrong thing. That's what he was hoping for right there. They couldn't stand what he had said. They didn't go as far as calling him a fascist and far right, but you got the impression, especially from Adil, he probably desperately wanted to, but held back because of the fact that he would get so much backlash if he turned around and started. Let's be honest, they were trying to bully him when they got onto that subject, but they had to tread very carefully, because if they said one slight wrong thing, they'd have been getting so much backlash, they'd have seen no end of it. To conclude everything that was said by this veteran, we all know that he's right and he's correct in his statements that were made by him, even if he had to endure a pair of cretins of presenters whose feelings were hurt that their liberal utopian worldview dared to be challenged. But ultimately, gentlemen, be sure to let us know what you think about this down below. What were your opinions on what this veteran had to say when he was on Good Morning Britain? Be sure to let us know what you think about this down below. Alright gentlemen, this has been Lord Flashheart. Make sure to rate, comment, favourite, share and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you again. Cheerio!